Hey guys, we are at Highland Bike Park today, and I got my Canyon Sender. I have not ridden this thing, I think, in well over a year, and have never ridden it with Suntour suspension. So we just got this thing built back up. It was hanging up in my rafters for way too long, and gonna do a little bit of shock testing today. Got also the new Suntour rucks up front, so gonna get a little testing on this thing, and then got the Tri-Air mounted up right now. But then I have one of these Voros that fluid focus, did a little custom tuning on for me. We got the SAR spring on there. So we're gonna do a little bit of back-to-back testing on coil and air. We're gonna go do a warm-up lap now, and then we'll go find a trail that we're gonna repeat for the day and get testing.
Hey.
How's it going? Good to see you. All right, warm-up lap. Oh, these bars are 20 mil wider than what I'm used to. I'm running 760 on just about everything. Oh gosh, hitting rim already. The Northeast is a rough place. So yeah, we're doing one of the best blue trails here, Fancy Feast. A little warm-up lap. I think it's pretty important to do a warm-up lap before just jumping straight into some craziness. These brakes are also new. They need to get bed in, but yeah, I roughly set up this bike parking lot. Got my rebound kind of where I want it, and got my sag at like 27% in the rear, 21 in the front. Man, I've been out riding my trail bike, which obviously has a 12 speed, and this thing is so much quieter. We'll wait for Heather. Got the lady coming up the rear. But yeah, so I got this thing with the Tri-Air in the back now, which is the air shock. We got, I think, 195 PSI, and then 85 in the fork. Fork rebound is wide open. Shock rebound is 8 from closed. That's another thing I do, is I pretty much count everything from fully closed. So fully slow for rebound, fully, let's say, firm for compression. So I kind of got some base tunes. I kind of know usually where I'm at, and then we'll just kind of go from there and see if we need to make changes. Mostly with rebound, maybe some sag changes, but for the most part, I think we'll be in a decent starting place. Shout out to Patrick from FSA lacing these wheels up to these Onyx hubs. This bike is silent. There she is, Heather Young on the Neuron, old trusty Neuron. About as polar opposite of bikes as we can have. Oh, that's rough. Whoa, these corners you gotta get early into. Oh, thank you. Oh God, we are just hitting all the rocks today. Good Lord. Man, this is so much fun. I miss downhill bike. Used to be the only bike I would ride. And as of recent, this thing has been getting no riding. Oh man, that was such a fun run. Usually first runs suck for me, but that was a blast of a first run. And honestly, for a lap one, this thing's feeling pretty good. So we'll go back up now, see if we can find our lap we're gonna do, and go from there. All right, so we got our test trail. Did a couple runs since my first lap, but I think we're gonna do Bonesaw, which peels off the top of Hellion here. It's kind of a free ride trail, but then it goes into a downhill trail at the bottom. Oh, I also, Oh, dented my wheels. Was running, I think, a little bit too low pressure. So, put a little more air pressure in them. So we're right now at 31 rear, 26 front. I'm gonna just cruise through that section. Okay, wanted to stop and look at this. It's just not trying to dent these wheels anymore. You can also see the shadows. I'm sure you can probably tell in the video. Man, the shadows are so rough today. So yeah, this is Jackrabbit we're on now, and this will be our test trail we're gonna use, trying to figure out some good lines that are repeatable. Yeah, through here you can pretty much come straight, and then I try and get outside here and then go over this way. And then I think I'll aim to get outside of this rock, hit this corner, and then stay high here. And then straight in to this bit. And then I think it can roll over here. And this is fairly smooth. That's gnarly. That's a rock to avoid. Yeah. I think you want to avoid, look at how gnarly that rock is. Yeah. I think if you go wide and then you stay in the middle here, it should be, I'll have to try it at speed. Yeah. And then we're gonna do a little shortcut. And then this compression, oh, it's rough. But we'll just be careful on it. Kind of unweight that. Oh, that felt pretty good. First lap done, not a whole lot that I'm gonna change. I think I'm just gonna go up and do another, since that was kind of my first full pull and we stopped and looked at a few sections. So we're just gonna leave it for now, and then maybe toss the coil shock on next to it and see how that feels. So let's head back up and do another lap. I guess that's part of the trouble, is sometimes you catch people, but it's all good. Trail I'm not too worried about. God dang. Frickin' northeast rocks. That's a slippery corner without much support. Oh, it's hard to hold that inside, so made it out wide, which still felt okay. feel what the suspension's doing. Yeah, front end's pushing a little, so I'm thinking might go a tad softer in the fork. I feel like with my enduro setup, I tend to run stuff a bit softer just because you're not riding stuff quite as fast. So I think I'm kind of used to a little bit more compliance and just like balance out of the front end. So I'm gonna go a tad softer in the front, not much. Might go like 5 PSI less. And then it's hard because you have to run so much pressure here to not break wheels. The rocks are just vicious. I'm sure you heard some pinging in that last run. So I'm running 31 in the back, which is more than I pretty much ever run, and 26, 27 up front. So pretty firm pressures, which is hard because I can kind of make the suspension feel a bit worse too. Yeah, we'll put the coil on, see how that thing feels, and soften the fork up and go from there. So we got the coil on here, but with this 450 spring, we're looking at like 17% sag, so pretty stiff. So we're gonna go 50 pounds lighter on the spring and see where that puts us. So we went up to actually went down to a 400. That's still only putting us at like 23%, 22% sag. So I'm gonna take a lap, just see how it feels. Maybe put a 350 on, which is crazy. I don't think I've ever ran a 350 spring in my life. So don't know why I don't know why these shocks or this bike or combination of the two is making me have to go this low in spring rates, but we're gonna get on trail either way and see how it feels and then go from there. See how the coil goes. All right, coil run 1. So just parking lot testing this thing, it definitely feels a little more supple, but we'll see how that translates to actual riding. I also went 5 PSI softer in the fork because it felt a little pushy. Oh God, almost died there. Jeez. Offline there. Oh God, freaking trail is so rough. Wow, so initial impressions is definitely way more supple. Felt like the tracking, I just felt so much more confidence with like all that skatey stuff kind of tracking. I think the 400-pound spring's good. I could go down to maybe a 375, which seems crazy that I would ever go that soft, but felt pretty well supported even in like the compressions. But I think it was any softer, I don't know if I would like it. I guess it's hard to know as I try. Rebound as well felt pretty good. I'm trying to just get the front and the rear pretty even feeling, and I think I got it there. So I think we'll go do another and see if we still feel the same. Slip on the rock. Oh my God. end's pushing. I think it's just loose today. Still liking the coil. I think we're liking the spring rate that we're at as well. All right, so we have done 2 runs on the air shock, 2 runs on the coil, and definitely feeling the coil with that 400-pound spring. I think any stiffer spring and it would be probably a little bit too harsh, and any softer would definitely be too soft. So I think it's pretty good actually at 22% sag, which I guess is kind of where you want to be for the downhill bike. I haven't ridden my downhill bike in so long now that I don't even remember what guys are running. I actually messaged Dakota Norton and he said he's somewhere in that ballpark of low 20s. To John from Suntour, who's my suspension guy there, and he was saying, yeah, anywhere from 19 to 25 is kind of where guys are at. So I'm kind of right at 22 and it's feeling pretty good. Also, I'm kind of trying to get this bike set up for US Open, and US Open is fairly flat, pumpy sort of track where you're trying to stay out of the holes. So I think it'll be pretty good for there. But yeah, good first day on the downhill bike. I think it's been almost 2 years since I've ridden this thing. So crazy, it's maybe the longest I've gone since I was 11 without riding a downhill bike, but feels nice to be out riding it again. And yeah, we'll keep getting some time in on this bike and get ready for US Open in a few weeks here.